Morning nation, morning team. See Marty. Nicole's like, you guys are late, man. I could have slept in an extra couple minutes. I'm like, I know. I know the snooze is 9 minutes. Nicole's like, geez, we're starting 2 minutes late. I could have got an extra 2 minutes on the snooze this morning. Oh, you're muted, Marty. Marty's new to the show. He's figuring out technology here today.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I said that's some big back stuff, Nicole.
Oh, we got Tony Elmore sitting in the green room. We're going to welcome him here in a second. I have been on a CMARTY. I know you commented on it yesterday. I know, Nicole, you saw it yesterday, but we have been on the Tony Elmore excitement train the last few days since Friday when I met up with him and I saw he's making this motion pitch vertical video like elevator. It's actually a no-brainer in a world of personal branding, like 60-second sound bites. To have a vertical video that basically says, hey, I'm Nicole, this is what I do. Not only to have you talking with a talking head, but with motion and graphics and explaining what you do, I think it's actually a pretty damn no-brainer idea. So Tony's joining us here in a few moments to talk about that. He's going to spend the hour with us. But before we bring Tony in, I know Keith and Nicole are really curious. See Marty Fit. How was your weekend this weekend? I know you threw the old gym gear aside. You dossed up. You threw the old suit on. You wandered your way with the shoulders out confidently, and you made some appearances out there in the world of fashion and weddings. How was that this weekend, pal?
I had a blast, man. I ate whatever I wanted, drank whatever I wanted. So it was good to just be a regular human for a weekend.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, man. So I was paying for it Monday.
I was just going to ask you that because I know you're very diligent with taking care of yourself, and I know it's an important thing to you. And sometimes, because I think it's good to hear it come from you, because we're so caught up in, routine, discipline, but yet, you said to yourself, no, I'm going to deviate from that. I'm going to add a little bit of a new routine for the weekend here, and then I'll manage it on Monday. Talk about how you did it yourself, see Marty, but then how you encourage others to go through that same mindset you just did.
Yeah, so I try to live a 90-10 or 80-20 lifestyle, and pretty much I can stay fit, but I can still be a human as well. Because what's the point of working so hard if you don't enjoy it? So for me, I get in that custom suit, that custom made suit, look good. It's tapered on my body perfectly, so I love that. So I got to show off the great outfit and have fun with some friends. A lot of people in there I don't get to spend a lot of time with. So, but yeah, definitely, just you got to enjoy it too. So the routine and discipline is super important, but you got to enjoy it. We only get one life.
It's so true. See, Nicole, it's not just a girl's thing when they're putting a nice dress on or a nice outfit. The men are also stacking and jacking and trying to reduce the big back. And they got the suit coming up on the weekend. Yeah. Marty, they're like, I got to fit into this. I got to make sure my waist feels nicely and got a proportion nice. But see, Marty, it really is the truth, right? When you train so diligently, you take the time to take care of yourself. It feels so exceptionally awesome.
Yep.
You can put that suit on. It feels great, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's that feeling.
Good. You look good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You look good. I know. We should actually pull some image. Maybe when we'll bring Tony on here. We'll throw old CMARTY, because we're so used to seeing CMARTY in the 90-10, right? His 90% life of athletic and jacked and just take the coach taking care of everybody else. But on the weekend, we got a chance to see Christopher Martin. How does that sound, CMARTY?
That's accurate.
I gotta ask. When you said you had a drink, did you have a drink, or did you have a Coke?
No, I had a drink.
Oh, yeah. Good for you. Yeah. Because you strike me as somebody who probably doesn't imbibe in the drinks often. You're pretty disciplined. Would I be fair to that?
Yeah, it's not often, but I'm still an adult. I'm still a human.
That's spectacular. That's awesome. Nicole, how was the last 24 hours for you?
It was great. My daughter had a track meet up in the mountains, so it's at a beautiful school. So yeah, it was great, and she did fantastic. Her team did great, so that was fun.
Yeah, I know you had that track meet yesterday. I was wondering. I was going through my day yesterday, wondering, because in my view, in my head, I know you live, and I'm thinking, So it's funny because you said the school up in the mountains. So I'm envisioning a school up in the mountains, literally maybe a valley area, and there's a school there, and you look around, there's mountains everywhere. Am I right?
Yeah. So we live like in the Cascade range, but there's like some few peaks that poke out. So this was like a 12,000-foot mountain. It's like where the school is like right at the base of it. It's just beautiful.
Oh man, that's fantastic. We had a guy on the show, Di Manuel and I, last Friday, Nicole, who was hanging out in Port Hood there for.
Oh, awesome.
No, Mount Hood. So, Mount Hood.
Yeah, right? I live in Hood River, but the mountain by me is Mount Hood, and then the one I went and saw was Mount Adams. They're just like directly across from each other, like across the river.
Okay. Speaking of living by you, Tony Elmore joining us from Wyoming.
That's right. How you guys doing?
Pretty.
Awesome.
What's up, Tony?
Hey, CMARTY. Hey, Nicole. Morning. Nice to be with you guys this morning.
Nice to be. So Nicole and Marty, when I texted Tony yesterday, I was like, dude, we go early. He's like, all right. I'm like, so first of all, Nicole, I thought he was on the same time zone as you. And then I realized that, well, no, dude, you get an extra hour of sleep. He's thinking,
yeah, that was nice.
Hey, Marty, Nicole, do you know anybody from Wyoming? I did not until I met Tony.
I played soccer. I played college soccer with a girl that was from Wyoming. But yeah, and I've driven through Wyoming. It's so pretty.
It is pretty. There's not many of us, so if you find one, it's pretty special.
Cool.
Marty, you know anybody from Wyoming?
Nobody from Wyoming. This is the first person I've met from Wyoming, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, represent for Wyoming.
That's it. So those are
a good place to like have a business, right? Like everybody I get like emails from is like Sheridan, Wyoming. I'm like, holy, what's going on in Sheridan?
Well,
it's really
beautiful there.
Or something.
Yep.
Yes. It's funny you say it, Nicole, because didn't Kanye set up his business in Wyoming for that reason, Tony?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, he was up in Cody for a while.
Yeah, and then did y'all kick him out?
I don't know where he's at now.
I think he knows where he's at.
I think he's selling his house or his properties or something like that. He had a huge ranch outside of Cody. And then, you don't really hear about him too much.
No, you just see him wandering around with his half-naked wife. Yeah, but that's not for morning show. That's for CMARTY's evening show.
Yeah, I might have to take that one.
That's how you do collaborative programming. You invite the morning guy on, you tease up what could happen in the evening, you talk about half-naked females next to Kanye, and the evening guy's like, yeah, I'll take that one. That works for me.
Yeah, Keith, you're a genius, man. You're a genius.
So we can weave in Wyoming and Bianca Censori and Kanye West onto this big LinkedIn talk show. Like, what the hell is going on this morning? Oh, man. So Tony Elmore, CMARTY and Nicole, I met him. So was watching Tony's journey here on LinkedIn. I don't know. We just stumbled across each other's feeds over the last number of months, and I've seen Tony bringing himself to the forefront, gathering the courage to continue to express himself. He's a seasoned creative director, motion designer. He's got a decade of professional experience. The guy's been around for not just a couple of minutes. He's honed his skills in animation, motion graphics. He takes ordinary business communications and brings it to life into captive visual narratives that strike a chord with people, and in a world of chat GPT generated text, I'd suggest to you guys that visuals and captivating narratives and visual storytelling is probably more important than ever. So, I saw what he was working on, knocked on his door. Tony and I spent 30 minutes last Friday together, and we ended the show, and then my head was spinning. Tony and I were texting each other back and forth over the weekend, and then I had an idea on Sunday, Marty Fit, and I sat down, and then I did this.
I want to surprise somebody on the platform, and I want your help. I grabbed a coffee with Tony Elmore after I saw his video pitch a couple days ago. I watched Tony's journey to become vulnerable enough to unleash himself with video, and I saw how he got the courage to say, here's my offer. So you know what I did? I reached out to hear about his offer. And you know what he's making? He's making a 1-minute motion animated elevator pitch for you. But he's starting from scratch, and this is where you and me can help. I want to create a wait list for Tony. I want to get 20 people on his list, signing up, ready to go. So here's what we're gonna do. Convinced him to get the first 5 people for $1,000 a piece. Dude, his solution is 5,000 bucks. Now, if we're all building personal brands, we all need elevator pitches, don't we? So join me in supporting Tony. No, I'm not getting paid for this. I just think it'd be pretty cool if we can help a guy out. And could you imagine if we created a wait list for the guy?
So I did that on Sunday, and I got all excited and eager about it and sent it over to Melissa, my teammate, and she wrote some copy for it. And then I scheduled it for an appearance yesterday morning. I didn't tell Nicole about it, didn't tell anybody about it. And then I revealed it on yesterday's show, See Marty Fit, as part of our creator spotlight. Now, Marty's an hour behind us. So see, Marty, so you wake up in the morning to some notifications on the phone or something, or on your computer. And how did you get let in on the little surprise coming from Keith and Nicole here in the morning and See Marty Fit, but we were shining the light on you for our creator spotlight?
I think I didn't get any notifications.
And Tony, Tony, how did you find out?
How did I find out about that? I was like deep in work, and then I was like, I have to get this message back to a guy, and I saw that I had quite a few notifications, and then as soon as I opened my notifications to LinkedIn, I just saw Keith, and just a whole bunch of attention. I was like blown back by just the response and your support. I was just like, this is so cool. I can't believe this is happening to me. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. Yeah, I shared it with all my family, and I was like, dude, this is pretty incredible.
Oh, awesome. And then Nicole, I get a note from Tony yesterday, and See Marty, he says to me, I got a wait list. I'm like, yes. That's awesome, because
it's a dream come true.
The goal was to build him a wait list, and I've got my hand up. Evan Mark's got his hand up. I think maybe a few other people knocked on Tony's door, but it's exceptional, man. And that's what we're trying to do here on the show, right? Is shine a light on exceptional human beings, and you just happen to catch the light, my friend. So
I really appreciate that.
So we're going to come back to Tony, Nicole, and See Marty Fit. We're going to get into who Tony Elmore is. We're going to talk about why motion animation. I don't know if we think, so when I think of motion animation, I think about back to my old comic books, right? And you flick the pages and those little paper things moved right in the corners. Tony nominated somebody for Creator Spotlight. I know he's excited about sharing that today. And then at the end of the show here, Tony's going to reveal, I think he has something to show a little bit around what he's working on, the vertical elevator pitch. So, but at this point in the show, Nicole Bernard, we check in for our accountability check-in. This is the time.
I'm going to say coffee, but yes, that is as well.
Yes. So I shuffled the deck on you today, Miss Bernard. So I shuffled the deck. We're going to do accountability check-in. We're then going to sneak away for a little coffee break. I think that's how I have it set up here. And then we are going to come back and say, who's Tony Elmore? So bear with me for a couple minutes, nation, because this just segues back to even while we have Tony here. So I got a cliche for you, See Marty. And you probably subscribe to this too, I'm thinking.
Let's check it out.
Less is more.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, that to-do list that's crushing you, all those things on the list, you're like, oh my God, it's killing me. The meetings, it should have been emails, the pressure to juggle every day perfectly.
Yep.
All artificial. We make it all up in our head.
And the same applies to working out too. A lot of people try to do burpee backflips. You just need to go in there, do some squats, do some bench press, do some cardio, and eat clean. But you try to do P90X, calisthenics, yoga, and solid core in one day. It's not
on the South Beach diet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and keto. It's not gonna work for you.
Oh, I think, Nicole, we need to get Marty to do some burpee backflips for us.
What is a burpee backflip? I've never even heard of that.
I'll show you when we're done.
Yeah, that's good, See Marty, because Nicole, I texted him last night and I said, hey, I want to weave some See Marty Fit segments into the show, like, maybe 2.5 minute in the mornings here, like something to get people thinking, some fun. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll shake and Dan go. We'll take a run at Dan go, and he's trying to make 1 million people fit around the planet. Well, we're gonna get See Marty Fit to get 1 billion.
Yes.
People fit around the planet. We're going to use the B because we want to weave in the big back theory into all that, right? So we're going to
I like that.
So, we're going to rush to coffee because I think CMARTY, covered it quite well, Tony Elmore, that, less is more. And he just told you all why.
Yeah. Perfect analogy. You can always come up with an analogy or a parallel with fitness for everything in life. You always can do that. So,
yeah. See, Marty, before we go grab coffee, why do you think every human, though, feels like when it comes to fitness, it very much is more, right? Because it's like, okay, I got to do more cardio, I got to lift more, I got to do more exercise. When in reality, the person they're probably looking at, like in the picture or on TV, who's jacked or is fit, has probably done so little. And I'm not saying they didn't put the work in, but the discipline it came to eat less, the discipline that it came to make different decisions along the way is actually not more. You follow me, see, Marty?
Yes, just instant gratification.
Yeah.
DoorDash, iPhones, Tinder, Bumble, everything is quick nowadays. So they think they can do that with fitness as well. So, and it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. No, it does not. There's no quick fit fix. Here in the lab, there's no quick fit fix in your life, but there's a quick fit fix in a minute. Nicole's going to grab a coffee. I'm going to grab my water. See Marty and Tony Elmore will refresh theirs. We'll be back in a minute. I'm going to run the Tony Elmore clip, and we're going to come back. Tony, you ready, man? We're going to shine a light on you for who is Tony Elmore.
I want to surprise somebody on the platform, and I want your help. I grabbed a coffee with Tony Elmore after I saw his video pitch a couple days ago. I watched Tony's journey to become vulnerable enough to unleash himself with video. And I saw how he got the courage to say, here's my offer. So you know what I did? I reached out to hear about his offer. And you know what he's making? He's making a 1-minute motion animated elevator pitch for you. But he's starting from scratch. And this is where you and me can help. I want to create a wait list for Tony. I want to get 20 people on his list, signing up, ready to go. So here's what we're going to do. Convinced him to get the first 5 people for $1,000 a piece. Dude, his solution is $5,000. Now, if we're all building personal brands, we all need elevator pitches, don't we? So join me in supporting Tony. No, I'm not getting paid for this. I just think it'd be pretty cool if we can help a guy out. And could you imagine if we created a wait list for the guy?
Yeah. Could you imagine if we created a wait list for the guy? And we did, Tony Elmore.
We did. It's crazy. It's like a dream come true, literally.
That's exceptional. So Tony, who's Tony Elmore?
I'm an animator and freelancer from Wyoming. I'm a father of a 5-year-old daughter that's the sweetest little girl I could ever ask for. I love to create. I love to help entrepreneurs. I am very passionate about business and just like anything visually creative.
5-year-old little girl.
Yep.
The charm in your life.
Yep.
Does she see the work Dad does, the animation work?
Yeah. She comes in. She loves to see what I do, but then she's like, "Hey, I want to play games now."
See, Marty, when you think of motion animation, and I know you did a little bit of looking into Tony before you came on the show today. What do you throw at Tony this morning? See, Marty.
You said, what do I throw at Tony?
Yeah. Questions, curiosity.
Like a question. Sure. So, when you do your motion animation, was this like something like a gift you've had your whole life, or was this, something that kind of came about as an adult?
So I've always been very passionate about art and drawing, and it's been something that's been a part of me since I was little. Like everyone told me, like, you need to go into the arts. You need to go in the arts, and I was like, yeah, I like that idea. And so I definitely pursued it. And then I saw a Toy Story 1, and that gave me the bug to like pursue animation. And that I just remember seeing it on screen and just be like, wow, this looks so real. This is amazing. And so my goal was to actually work for Pixar. And that's when I kind of followed my passion to pursue 3D animation. And that's when I went to school for 3D animation. And I learned that skill set, and also just basically just practiced. And I actually went to teach computer arts for about 6 years at a high school. But then I really got the bug during the summer, like freelancing for businesses. And I actually just tried out teaching. It was like something that was my parents and my grandparents like, hey, you should try this out. It's not what you went to school for. I graduated during the 2008 recession, so it was like hard as hell to find a job, especially in my field. So I had this opportunity where I was like, I could be a computer arts teacher and be somewhat in my field. And I went for it, tried it. It wasn't for me. I learned a lot, and it definitely still impacts what I do today. But I then went just, I guess, basically professional freelancer, and just kind of learned on my own for about since 2015, just freelancing and doing animation, working for product. Marketing agencies and different production studios. So it's something I've been passionate for a while, and then just kind of snowballed and learned over the years.
So I got one more, Keith.
Yeah.
So outside of Toy Story, like what's another animation that probably like inspired you, or was the catalyst?
Oh man, like I just really liked all the additional like visual effects, like the Matrix, like the classic Matrix.
Yeah.
And, he's like, some bullets are flying over. At that time, like those were just amazing like spectacles to see. And so like just the idea that you can create these like alternative worlds that are beyond just kind of the reality just really fascinated me. So things like that, and then just like any kind of Pixar film. It's great with my 5-year-old. I can, I can go watch these cartoons and these animations, and she enjoys them as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nicole?
Thanks.
I just love it. I imagine your imagination was huge as a kid. That's all I have to say.
It is. And it's nice to see that in my daughter as well. I'm trying to instill just the idea of playing and being creative.
Yeah.
So
did that come from mom and dad? Tony, was that really encouraged by mom and dad? So did you grow up in Wyoming? Like your whole life was so I'm going to make.
Yeah, basically. I spent 6 years in Denver for college, but other than that, I've been here in Wyoming.
I would like to make some assumptions. I know in getting to know Nicole and her family, I think, being outdoors and encouraging her kids to play. I think Nicole, right? And be just active and be outside and using your human creativity and maybe less technology and less screens. Would I say that correct, Nicole? For you and Ben? Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
So Tony, would I make that same assumption with yourself and your parents, where they really encouraged like analog play and free play and outside play? And
yes, absolutely.
That inspire your creativity?
Yep. And it was also my grandfather. He was a visual artist as well, and he really liked to kind of provide the art supplies for me to just kind of play. So that really helped.
What I like about this line of questioning is that I had a great discussion, you guys, on Friday with Di Manuel and Jeff Sahil. Him and his family are traveling around North America right now. And we talked about screens, and we talked about the effect of screens on children. And I know that many people are like, no screens, no screens, no screens, no screens. And I can respect that, and I can appreciate that point of view. However, I tossed a different POV out there, and I'm curious to know what Tony's opinion is on this. That I don't know if we spend enough time as parents differentiating, CMARTY fit, what you do on the screen, right? There's consumption, there's creation. So when I sit down with my kids, here's your iPad, but you can't sit there and just consume. Here's a pencil, here's go do math problems, go draw something, go create on the screen, right? It's not just about consumption, right? Tony, what's your POV on that?
I agree with you. Like, yeah, you definitely, my daughter will consume. So I definitely tried to encourage her to be creative as possible and activate her mind and be on that creation side. So rather than having all the intake, she's putting some output into the world as well. So it's pretty fascinating to see, like, my daughter, even like 3, 4, she was able to kind of draw on the iPad and like navigate the interface and do that kind of thing. It's just like pretty mind-blowing to see such a young person being able to create. So she likes it. I like to draw like like monsters and like little characters, and then she loves to come in and like color them and just give them their detail and things like that. It's pretty cool, fun collaboration.
That's a really cool collaboration. I look at you, CMARTY Fit, because you're probably of a demographic similar to Tony, I'm thinking, and I see that you're a creator. You're very much a creator. You're a digital creator, but you're also very much an analog guy too. I think in many ways, you're the gym. You don't mind free play. You're an athlete. You've been able to bridge that experience of analog free play expressiveness, but also very much a digital creator. CMARTY Fit. Would I say that correctly about you too?
Yeah, definitely. Well, so Tony mentioned that he was like creative when he was young.
Yes.
I didn't really know I was creative until I was an adult.
Oh yeah.
And even as an athlete, I look back, just like, let's say, I see how the defenders defended me, and I know I can score 3 plays later. That's a level of creativity right there. And I didn't even know that was a level of creativity. And so I kind of, when I realized that's when I started tapping more into, what can I do with fitness? What are other fitness influencers and creators not doing that I'm good at? So, yeah.
That's interesting. That's absolutely interesting. So Tony, when you watch what's your little girl's name?
Mira.
When you watch her create, stepping in dad's shoes, it must drive and inspire you as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It does. It inspires me so much. It's just like, what can I teach you next? What can we do next to help you grow and foster these talents? And she's already saying she wants to be like a painter when she grows up.
Oh, awesome. I love that.
That's dope.
That's cool. It's really cool. Yeah. Cause we don't, society's so quick to encourage our kids to be doctors or surgeons or teachers, and there's nothing wrong with all that. I love all that. But to hear, your daughter saying, I want to be a painter, and her dad being an artist, like it's nice. And it tells me that the world has gazillions of creators coming up in their parents' footsteps, right? That there's actually never been a better time to create, frankly.
True.
Right. Sure. What's that thing? Before we get into, I want to move our conversation to why motion animation. And you mentioned The Matrix, you mentioned Pixar. But before we go there, I want to stay on who is Tony Elmore for a quick minute. What's that thing over your right shoulder up on the wall? Did you draw that? Did you create that? Yes. What is that?
So I think it was like 2017. My wife and I, we met in college, at art college, and we had a collaborative art show at a local gallery here. And so she had her ceramics on display, and then I also had my body of work. And this was kind of like my featured, like my grand piece out of my show. So this is like a bison head with kind of this like warrior paint on it. And I had a whole bunch of other animals like wolves, kind of like Wyoming native animals with this kind of warrior paint on them. And this just kind of inspires me every day to kind of just, be the best I can, and just helps motivate me.
That's exceptional.
Beast mode.
Yeah.
It is beast mode. You know what's interesting too, Tony? What struck me when I started following your story is, I think we would agree on this on the show this morning, Nicole, CMARTY, that Wyoming is probably not the most first place on the list you think of when it comes to creativity. I don't think of Wyoming. I think of, urban centers or places where artists congregate, right? Yet you have been able to express your creativity in a way, Tony, which works for you. And is there a large creative community in Wyoming, in Casper, where you live?
There over the last couple of years, like 5 years, it's really kind of escalated. We started to have a local like art walks, and we're embracing like community murals and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Because before that, it was like there was a lot of efforts to like paint a mural on a building, but most people would be like, no, that's like graffiti and like that's ugly and whatnot. And that mindset has really started to change and really started to embrace the arts. So I don't know if like my creative skills have like blossomed because of the lack of art or not, but like growing up, but it's definitely getting much better. And I love to see that, because if I'm going to live here, I want my daughter to be in a community that appreciates the arts. So it just helps reinforce, like, yeah, we're going to be staying in Wyoming. I'm sorry, baby girl, if it's too cold and windy.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good. So you mentioned The Matrix. You mentioned Toy Story.
Mhm.
Really two monumental films when it comes to motion animation and that type of technology.
Mhm.
What drew you to motion animation? Was it seeing those films for the first time? Was it, you said The Matrix when you were talking to Marty about it? Were you at an age where you saw that and you're like, I want to be a part of that? Like why did you arrive at becoming a motion animation expert?
So when I went to school, I wanted to be in 3D animation. They accidentally enrolled me in graphic design. And so like I was in graphic design for the first year, and I was like, this is really cool. I love to make posters. I like to make graphic things, but I really kind of missed this extra element. There's the graphic part. It was cool to make these static aesthetics. So like a static basically means that it just is still. And I kind of, it wasn't enough for me. I was like, man, I wish I was doing this animation thing. So I had to go up to my counselor and say, you guys put me in the wrong thing. I need to be in animation. Like, it didn't feel like it was pushing me far enough. So I really needed this extra element of like the complexity of moving things and bringing things to life and making characters move and things like that. It just, the additional complexity and the just the ability to bring things to life just really fascinated me.
To bring things to life.
Mhm.
So that's what I think of when I think of motion animation, because I remember, so I'm old, I'm ancient. I tease my colleagues here on the show. I literally remember growing up with the flip books.
Mm-hmm.
Right, where the flip corner. Nicole, do you remember those? I know you're not as ancient as I am, but do you remember those books where flip, like the chapter, you flipped them fast and they moved?
Mm-hmm.
That's original motion animation, is it not, Tony?
Yeah, yep, that's absolutely is. It's very challenging. That old school, like flip books, traditional. That's hard stuff. It's a lot easier now with computer graphics and just the current technology.
I don't think CMARTY Fit knows what that technology is.
You know what I think of? You ever watch the Marvel movies in the beginning?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
they kind of
the
show
intro.
like, yeah, with the intro they kind of show. That's kind of what I'm what I'm
absolutely
picturing. But you doing that, flipping through a book.
Yep, exactly.
Have you used those books before, Marty? On those top corners where you flip through them fast? You haven't?
Never.
No. Oh
Never,
yeah.
never.
So
Yeah.
we need to find one of those analog experiences, Nicole, Tony. They are cool. Yeah, and it's funny because you'd have a little mini book. See, Marty, the whole page would be white, like be an empty page, except the top right corner would have a graphic in it. And you'd flip the book and you'd bring the book to life because you'd tell the story in the top right corner of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. It's
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. But Tony, you said like that would have to be an arduous, time consuming process when you make that
yeah, it is. Like 1 second of animation requires 24 drawings.
Wow.
Yeah, classically is like, it's a lot. So if you just one little wave, that's 24 images. So it can be very tedious. And when you're working with paper and like a light board, you got to flip back and forth, and you can't necessarily move things around like you can these days. So yeah, much respect for classic traditional animators. Yeah.
When you first sat down with a digital solution that would create an old school motion animation product, take us through that moment that blew your mind. You sat down digitally and you're like, holy smokes, I just did this, and I'll make an exaggerative point. I did this in 5 minutes where it took me 50 hours yesterday. Did you have that kind of moment as you've gone through your motion animation career?
Yeah, like it was the technology. It was definitely a lot more rudimentary when I was starting, and like I've been doing like animation, like motion stuff since high school when I first got the taste of. I guess I should say contribute some of my my ability to pursue animation because my high school teacher opened the opportunity to have this like computer arts class where I could finally like get my hands on this kind of software, because being here in Wyoming, like there was no other classes in the state that were offering this opportunity. So uh, starting out with like software programs that were called like Strata 3D, it was just so crude and like so hard to manipulate things. And then by the time I got to college, the technology has really started to advance, and I could start to finally uh, produce what was in my mind without necessarily like really having to struggle with the technology. So it just picked up faster, and then it just is going faster and faster in terms of like becoming more accessible for everybody.
Marty mentioned the Matrix. Was that a pivotal point in the motion animation industry, Marty? Because technology, the internet, the ideas behind the Matrix and the ideology behind it, you know, I think we were coming in around maybe the 2000s as that was the Matrix was coming out. So was that a pivotal point in your industry when that movie came out?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just the technology, the aesthetics, like the design and the concepts of the story were pretty profound for the time. So
Like bullet time. Remember that for those French
yeah,
sailors,
I
you
love
guys
that.
flying through the air and like that's motion animation, right? Like in its core, that's no different than drawing that image 40.
That that would be done with computer graphics. So there's a little bit of a aesthetic difference where visual effects like that is more kind of trying to be realistic,
Yes.
where some of the more animation stuff is you can kind of tell it has more of a cartoon feel, or it feels
Yes.
like just like more of a graphic feel.
Yeah.
It kind of separates itself from reality a little bit.
You mentioned it takes 24 frames to create a second. Is that similar to when we're watching or creating content and we're taught about 24 frames per second, 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second?
Exactly.
Talk about those concepts to those that are wondering. So when you watch a film or you watch something on TV that is 60 frames per second and it looks like it's like a soap opera film compared to 24 frames per second, explain to Nation and us what we're seeing differently there, Tony.
So most displays or TVs are playing at about 24 frames per second. Most cable shows, probably what we're seeing right now on this screen is, so that basically means that you're seeing 24 images per 1 second. Then the next thing would be like 30 frames per second, which is more like basic cable. And then there's like those high frame rates, like 60 frames per second, which is typically used to like record slow motion. But what happens is that you just have more time, more images, so that the movements tend to be a little bit more like silky or buttery smooth, whereas like a lower frame rate, like 12 frames or 24, can have a little bit of a stutter to it, which kind of it can also bring kind of a cinematic feel to your visuals. So you definitely want to be cognizant of your frame rate whenever you're like trying to produce some kind of visual for like a movie or an animation, because you want to set up your project to kind of think about, how do I want this motion to feel as you're watching it? So then you got to pick the correct frame rate from that.
Not to get all nerdy with Nation here, Tony, but when I create, I try to shoot at 24 to 30 frames per second. I like the traditional film cinematic type effect. Maybe to draw a comparison, Tony, when we watch projects like Christopher Nolan's Batman series or any of his IMAX films or even Oppenheimer, that's all done in 24 frames per second. Whereas Nation, when we watch reality shows, because I know Nicole loves to just serve up nonstop Beverly Hills, Housewives Beverly Hills content. She's nonstop. She quiet calls me. She's like, Keith, I'm just binge watching the whole series right now. Nicole, it's all right. Not that I know anything about that at all. Never. No.
Not you.
No, me. No. They create that reality show, CMARTY Fit, in 60 frames per second, which looks like it's like, so you think it's 60 to 24. The way we view it in our eyes is, that's why it looks so, I don't know, Tony, how do you explain it? Like gaudy, real soap opera? Like how?
Yeah, it's like almost surreal. It's like you're seeing more. It's just different than what we're traditionally seeing. So when you see these 60 frames per second, you're getting more information. The movements are just you have more pictures to refer to rather than less. So there's just a little bit less stutter and more kind of that buttery smooth look.
Yeah. All right. So listen, it's time now. Hey everybody, shoot in 24 frames. Your iPhone naturally, I think, Tony, what's your iPhone naturally shoot at? 60, 30?
I think it's maybe 30.
Yeah. I would encourage everybody to dial it down a little bit. The experience for do you agree, Tony?
Yeah. You can, if you're in question, I would start higher at 30 because you can always drop it down to 24, but you cannot go the other way. You can't go from 24 and make up frames to 30.
Yeah.
So start high.
Not like an iPhone setting. How would we do that?
Yeah, you actually in your phone there'll be a setting. It'll say like frame rate, and you can choose 60, 30, 24, maybe 12.
Okay.
Exceptional tips because you'll notice a difference in your content for your audience, and your audience will thank you for it. And you'll stand out next to somebody else who doesn't take the extra second to do that tip that Tony's recommending. And I just think your audience will have a better experience. All right, so listen, we got 2 segments left, team. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back for the Creator Spotlight. Tony, I know, is excited about this. He's got somebody up on the screen too. He's got somebody he gave me to nominate here today. And we are going to reveal that human being here in less than 90 seconds. So if y'all want to grab a coffee or refresh, we'll be back in less than 90 seconds to reveal today's Creator Spotlight. And then when we come back after the Creator Spotlight, CMARTY Fit, Tony is going to reveal, Nicole, his vertical elevator pitch before we wrap up the show today. All right. So I invite you guys all to step away for 90 seconds or so, and we're going to come back and learn about today's Creator Spotlight. All right, the team is on time this morning. Whoa, respectful of Tony Elmore's time and CMARTY, everybody's time. Awesome. All right,
appreciated.
100%. So this is my favorite spot on the show. I believe it's Nicole's as we've been building this thing together. It's taken a life of its own on CMARTY Fit. I know we've been talking. This is going to be a monetizable experience here soon. So anybody wants to get behind the Creator Spotlight. Here's the thing, Tony Elmore. Every single day, we take this big ass light and shine it on an awesome human being. Mm-hmm. So if somebody out there wants to join the ride with us and get their message out in front of the world while we're celebrating this, we'll gladly, this could be the less brunches, more crunches Creator Spotlight. Right? This could be the what if Creator Spotlight. It could be the underknown, could be the epidemic sound Creator Spotlight. So I'm just throwing it out there for anybody that wants to put their dollars behind the attitude. We are here to talk about it. So anyway, so Tony, who do you want to nominate today? Oops, where's my camera here? Let's go there. Boom. Who do you want to nominate today for today's Creator Spotlight?
I wanted to nominate an awesome founder and kind of friend and coach. His name is Greg Hickman. He is somebody that I kind of discovered around like 2017 when I attended a conference, and this guy's just very knowledgeable about business. A lot of the stuff that I've implemented into like structuring my own motion pitch offer and my own business stem from kind of his teaching, his content. And so I just want to highlight him. He took some time for me about a month ago to kind of review my motion pitch, and he just kind of had some really good insights, and I just want to pay it forward to him.
That's exceptional. So if you are an agency owner, you're a freelancer, you're a service provider, it looks like this fellow, Greg Hickman, is for you. He helps agencies and freelancers build wildly profitable and lean productized services, and they turn their expertise into multiple streams of income. He's from Denver. He's been doing some work with Tony. So how did you guys meet, Tony?
So I went to a conference. It was like a web design conference when I was doing website design, and he presented, and he was talking about productizing an offer. When I started my business, like I was offering like everything under the sun. Since I'm a creative person, I had like 20 different services. I mean, I was saying I had graphic design, logo design, 3D printing. I'll paint you a mural. I'll do absolutely everything for you. And so when I kind of heard his speech, he was all about like taking complex ideas and like simplifying it and drilling down to like one thing. And that really resonated because I could feel that I wasn't getting traction with things that I was doing because I was just offering too many different things. So he really helped me kind of like simplify to one.
So here we go. It takes me some time, guys, to get the sound effects rolling here, but I think CMARTY, I might have to delegate this part to you, is to get the sound effects working for us. But we are here. I'm going to follow Greg Hickman. Greg Hickman, you are welcome on the show. If you see this today, we'd love to have you tomorrow to pay it forward. You can hear the crowd cheering for you, celebrating your creator spotlight today. Looks like we got some awesome posts from you here. What does it cost to serve one additional client? He talks about, I'm telling you guys, this one resonates for me because, what does the cost to serve one additional client? Let's use the same analogy that Greg talks about when somebody's making fries. So you're saying, what? The value one extra potato, and I know CMARTY fit, we're not talking fries, but no, we're talking the 10% solution in life right now. Yeah.
Gotta watch you, Keith.
Oh, yeah. Did you eat a bunny in your sad weekend?
No, I have not.
Are you still alive? Okay.
No, my kids chunked the bunny, but I still got this year. But no. So Greg talks. See, I'm good, CMARTY. I haven't touched because I got your face on the back of it. I look at it. I'm like, okay, I can see CMARTY looking at me here. But Greg talks about what does it cost to serve one additional client, and to me, that's value. Right? It's like just pausing, slowing it down, and adding extra value to your client. So it doesn't take a lot of effort to pause and slow things down to create extra value. So anyways, today's creator spotlight, Greg Hickman, excited to shine the light on you here today. We're going to get some content circulated and then have you come in to shine the light back on somebody else. All right. So wrap it up. Last segment, Tony Elmore. Oh, here we go. Tony Elmore. Just madness here right now. Tony, we want to shine the light back on you here. Let's talk about the vertical elevator pitch that you are creating. Now, do you have something you want to show us? You want to chat a little bit about this for a few minutes? We got 5 minutes left in the show here. I want to shine the light back on your elevator pitch from Tony Elmore.
Sure. I guess if I were to show something, it'd be like I think my most recent post on LinkedIn.
Let me do that. I'll pull it up for you here, pal. Because
that's like the latest update on my own motion pitch. So it'd be like 2 posts ago. So I got or 3.
100%. So let's talk about that. I'm going to pull it up here for you. Boom. There it is right there. All right. So Tony, you got this video here. It is a
profile for the first time. How fast are they able to understand what you do and offer? Do they get confused with all the jargon or overwhelmed with walls of text? Will they connect? Or would they quickly move on, leaving you with a missed opportunity to grow your business? There's a better way. You deserve leads who can quickly comprehend your value and are curious to learn more. The answer? A motion pitch, an animated elevator pitch that showcases your story with captivating visuals. Grab attention, build trust, and explain your value in 60 seconds or less. I'm Tony Elmore, founder of Motion Pitch, and I help entrepreneurs communicate their value with clarity and power using motion graphics. Ready to get started? DM me Motion and get my free elevator script pitch today.
Dude, that was awesome. So I saw that, Nicole and Marty. And again, at the beginning of the show, I set it up. I'd been watching Tony get to that video there. I'd been watching it, Tony, and when I saw it, I was like, yeah! Because it's nerve-wracking for a lot of people. I know you said yourself you're nervous coming here today, getting on the video. But talk before you get into the motion pitch, talk about the nerves building up to creating that video for yourself.
Yeah, I'm usually behind the screen, illustrating, doing animating. I'm not the most confident coming onto the screen and presenting myself. So, but I know that it's very important to kind of still like not hide behind your brand or hide behind your visuals. Like you still, in today's world with so much like digital graphics and AI and things like that, I see the value in showing up as a human. And that was one of the things that really attracted me to you, Keith, is because I heard you is either one of your content or a video you sent me that was just like, in this world of AI and all this digital stuff, you need to kind of show up and show your face and come out into the world. So I really resonated with that. And I was like, I need to do that.
Yeah. When you did it. And so it's the same thing that attracted me to CMARTY Fit, right? CMARTY was on the show originally. And if you look at the clip, Nicole and I sat back together in our first show, we talked about AI and being human, and she struck me as an incredible human being. And then watching CMARTY show up every single time, vulnerably getting in front of the camera, because he's not shy at all. Not CMARTY is maybe the most shyest guy in the world, frankly. But watching him come out and then seeing you, man, walk towards the fire, and then you did it. And I hope that spending time with us today, getting the reps in front of the camera, encourage you to do more of it. Because you're right.
Absolutely.
It's going to make you already have a product that's unique, dude. Like I don't see anybody else creating what you're creating.
Mm-hmm.
You stand out in the LinkedIn feed, probably even the Instagram feed with what you're doing, right? You're from Wyoming. Don't know a lot of people doing it. Right? So you start stacking the checkers around your uniqueness.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, like I can see your personal brand all over you. Nicole, like don't you see it too, Tony?
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
Yeah, just get the reps in. You'll kill it.
Mm-hmm.
You'll kill it, man. You got a great product, a great service to offer. So
Thank you.
get those reps in, man, and you'll be good.
Yeah, it's so true, and just being repetitious, right, with it, right? So where are you on your process right now, Tony? Before we wrap it up, we're going to flip around the table to say goodbye. We have this offer in the market right now, so we have a lot of people. Sorry, I put the thumbs down, which made it go down.
I was like,
that was my. There we go. That was my old thing here because it was like a dant. So Tony Elmore, we threw something in the market yesterday. First 5 people are going to get it for $1,000, and just to manage everybody's expectations, Tony's figuring this out. So we aren't going to assume we're getting a Bugatti on day one.
Correct. Yeah.
Towards Bugatti, we're going to create it together. We're going to iterate together. We're going to help Tony build his solution so that he can routinely and scalably sell these $5,000, $3,000 to $5,000 products. So old Uncle Keith, he's stiff-armed and said, "No, let's do the first 5 at $1,000, Tony." I'm like, "Can you do them?" As I'll do them. So my expectations are managed. We're working together to create something. But Tony, you got that list going. Invite people in. How can they get a hold of you, pal?
You can find me at motionpitch.co. You can find me on LinkedIn. And that's pretty much where I'm living right now.
Awesome. CMARTY Fit, final words from you today, pal. I really love when you join us in the lab. What do you got going on today? Any questions or comments for Tony? And a couple words from you before we say goodbye.
No, like I said, that's a great service. And, I might have to tap in with you too and get some fitness animations going. And
that'd be cool.
Oh yeah.
I think my people would like to see that.
Yeah.
But,
that'd be awesome.
It's different too, right? It's different, eh, Marty?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's different. No, I like it. But no, it's always great to come here and just hear, people's stories and look at different businesses and services. So thanks, Tony, for the info and sharing your story.
Absolutely.
And I got some more clients today and working out.
Awesome.
And that's about it.
Awesome.
Selling some clothes.
Yeah, less brunches, more crunches. If you're looking for some kick-ass merch, you might want to go knock on CMARTY Fit's door. Find him on Instagram. Find Christopher Martin on LinkedIn. And he's around. He's attached to the BAPL train here. He's not going anywhere. We're not going to let him go anywhere. So if you need to get hold of CMARTY Fit, come knock on my door too. Nicole, what's up with the agenda today? I'm thinking you have no school. You got no. You going to the mountains today to do some stuff with the kids, or you got your own stuff today?
No, I got my own stuff today, and then soccer practice later. All the mom stuff. So yeah.
Your soccer practice or kids' soccer practice?
No kids. Yeah, I just I play on the
Mom's
weekend.
soccer practice.
Today at noon, I have Terry Fossum, Nuclear Ambitions. The guy, he's reality TV guy. He's done some crazy. I'm just going to tease it out there. You got to check the show at noon. Go look at the LinkedIn profile. He's a former reality star contestant. He's done something with B-52 bombers. He's done stuff in the nuclear stuff. He's just an interesting human being. He sent me a video yesterday that I'm still learning how to process what he said. So I'm looking forward to the chat today. Yesterday, you guys, before I quickly say goodbye, I had what somebody would call in 1984 a psychic. But she actually, so what we call them today is, we call them intuitives. But most importantly, she's a soul coach. She was exceptional. Jamie Zajac, and just to set it up for you guys before I quickly say goodbye. So if we think about a fitness coach, Marty, like yourself, like somebody taking care of your fitness, we think about a business coach, Nicole, like somebody like yourself who might be working with like an entrepreneur. Well, so Jamie slots in, Tony, in the world of a soul coach, where she works with you on your intuition, works on you with things that maybe you're not considering, right? So what I really found striking about our chat yesterday, guys, is it wasn't weird. It wasn't like all psychobabble weird shit. It was really, it was intuitive. It was informative. It was interesting. And I invite anybody to go check out yesterday's show. But just think that there's other people out there that can help us. Not just fitness coaches, not just emotional coaches, not just life coaches, but people that bring a different lens. So,
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get out of here. I got an active date today as well. We got our guest at noon. And then, team, I am off to watch my Winnipeg Jets tonight extend the series. So, Nicole, tomorrow morning, I'm going to bring happiness, and I know you're going to be with me tonight.
We'll see.
I don't think CMARTY's here tomorrow, which is great. I'll have to deal with his issues tomorrow. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. The loop is starting in a couple of minutes, and we'll see you guys later. Tony, thanks for coming in, pal.
Hey, thank you very much. Nice to see you guys. Nice to meet you guys as well.
Nice meeting you, Tony.
Nice to meet you, CMARTY. Take care.
See you guys. All right, we're going to do this here. Where's that button? See you tomorrow. Boom, boom.